You ever had your kid just say something that stopped you in your tracks and you were like, what'd you say? I had that moment last night with my daughter. And I've had it before with my other kids. But last night, a battle happened. And not with my daughter, but in between my head. And we're going to get to that. But I told her, get ready for bed, go brush your teeth. Actually past her bedtime because it was past her bedtime. 30 minutes past her bedtime. And she said something. Start heading there. She's like, no, I want to. We go through the whole rigor mortis, or not rigor mortis, sorry, rigmarole, and whatever you want to call it, the song and dance every night. I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to go to bed. That's just the song of parent and child for bedtime. And it's not bad. It's just it's a thing. It is what it is. And when I get tired of it, I do the countdown. And because countdown means I'm serious, let's go. Now, what caught me off guard is that she started going over there. I said, go brush your teeth. And she says, she's laughing. She says, oh my gosh, you're such a jerk. And I was heading down the stairs when she said that. In mid-step, I was like, backed up and looked at down the hallway where the bathroom's at. It's like, what'd you say? And she said, she was like, oh crap. And she's 7, Sabine. And she was like, huh? I said, come here. And I had to change my tone because when I said that, at that moment, she said that at that moment, I was like, oh, the gloves are off, unleash the hounds, Disciplined, roar. Kratos, the god of war, was about to come out. But then I stopped before I reacted and said, I don't want to scar my child. I'm doing different approaches from when I was parented, because I had an incident that I did the same thing. And in that split second, that moment, I said, hey, where'd you learn that? It was like a word. She said, call me a jerk. Where'd you learn that? And she was like, I don't know. Kids, when they go into like, what, a perfect example? Freaking A Christmas Story. When he says, fudge. And Dad's like, what did you say? And the whole, where'd you hear it from? So I'm like, where'd you learn that? Where'd you hear it? And she's like, I don't know. I said, listen, you're not in trouble for saying it. I said, no, where'd you learn it? And she's thinking, and she told me where she learned it. I'll be talking to the party who taught her that. And it caught me off guard. So I said, listen, it's not a nice word, especially to call somebody, let alone to say. Or a kid. We don't say that. We don't call people that. So you're not in trouble. I'm just telling you. Thank you for telling me where you learned it. And we'll move on. We'll finish brushing your teeth. I love you. Went downstairs. Told my wife what happened. She's like, my wife was like, did she call you a jerk? Before I even said it, she said, did she call you a jerk? I was like, yeah, she did. And back to the whole Kratos almost came out. The split decision I had to make. When I heard it, parent was like, oh no, hell no. Force her, oh no, we don't do it. But why would I scare her and scar her to the point she can't tell me and trust me that because she feels like she's going to get in trouble all the time or she did something bad? The reason why I switched so fast is because I knew that this was a defining moment of trust and, hey, we got to keep that line of communication open so you can keep on telling me stuff. Now, it worked. The fact that she was even there to tell me, she's like, oh, I think I heard from here. Okay, cool. And it tracks. I was like, that makes sense. Cool, no problem. I had the same incident when I was a kid. It was my grandfather. My grandfather was near me. My cousin was outside. And my cousin did something. And I called him, I said out loud too, not knowing that it was a bad thing to say. Said to my cousin, you're a kooky little bastard. And my daughter's in there watching TV. She can't hear me. And my grandfather said, what did you say? And my heart dropped. So, in that same moment, I had a flashback when I said stopped, and my daughter called me a jerk. I had the same flashback. Like, this happened when you was a kid. Remember how that made you feel? You felt belittled, you felt down, like you didn't know that you was doing something wrong or saying something wrong. My grandfather's a more lenient person in my family. I got a lot of his patience from, just his parenting style and the grandparent, And I remember that. I was like, oh crap. She didn't know what she was saying. She didn't know the impact that it has or it can have. And I taught her that. And as parents, that's what we're supposed to do instead of going into the whole anger mode or, I'm going to strike you down with the wrath of God or something that they didn't understand. Because I want to teach my kids it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to explore. but you need to understand what you're exploring, what you're doing, what mistakes you're making, and what impact it can make or have, and how to grow from it and be successful from it. So yeah, that was one of those moments. And it's nice that every time I do something, I think to myself, did this ever happen to me? Did I ever go through this when I was a parent, when I was a kid? What kind of experience did I have with the same scenario or a similar scenario? So what about you guys? You guys ever let your kids call you a word and not knowing that they called you that? They didn't know what they were calling you, just saying it because they overheard it from one of their friends or another adult or something like that, or a TV show that they probably wasn't supposed to be watching. Let me know in the comments. I would like to know. And how did you react? How did you resolve that moment? Did you make it a teaching moment, or did you make it a reactionary moment that you just reacted like, oh my gosh? Because everything we do as parents shapes our children. And I constantly am always very cautious and aware. I don't want to say cautious, aware of what I'm doing around her. My demeanor, my energy, and it's a lot sometimes. It can be a lot to the point that I feel myself shifting like, oh, I don't want to do this right now. I don't want to play this game. But it's the time that she wants to spend with me. Because sooner or later, hopefully much later, there'll be a time that she is probably won't want anything to do with me because she wants to do with her friends. My sons went through it, and until they got older, okay, yeah, I want to spend some time with you as an adult. So because of that, I make the most time out of everything, every moment I get with her. Because I made that mistake of not being, and I even told my son that, like, I made the mistake of not being there for you, or not I mean, I was there for him, and he knows that, but the amount of time I wish I could have been there for him, that I wanted to be there for him more, not of a lack of trying, just a lack of resources and a lack of the ability. So I want to be there because she's my last child. My last child. I'll have grandkids and everything like that, and great grandkids, but no, we have no more kids. So it's just, yeah, man. It's, you gotta cherish every moment and just really. I know sometimes as a parent it can be frustrating. And I know that it can be tiresome, challenging to keep your cool, but the way you parent them, they're going to use that to parent their children. Not, it's either going to be they're going to take a lot of stuff from you, and what they learned from you as a parent, and use it, or they're going to see what they didn't like as how they were parented and do the complete opposite. So, because that's one thing as a kid, I remember I was always said, I'm never going to do it when I was a kid. To my kids when I'm older. We do things still. And it makes sense when you go to, hey, this is why. But the thing is that I wasn't really explained. And if I was, I don't remember why it was a no, or why I couldn't do that, or why I have to do that. The one thing I don't do, I can't remember if I ever did it to my son, but the one thing I probably did, but and I was young, stupid as a parent then. But the one thing I don't do now is when my kids ask me a question, I will never say because I said so. I will always give them a reason, explain to them why. Because the way I work is that when I ask and I don't know why I'm doing something, I'm asking for a reason, not because always the why. Even with kids, they're doing it for attention because they want your attention. But answer those questions. Eventually, they'll get tired of answering that same question why. They get bored with it. So, or if it was like me and my kids, they're actually wondering why, because they want the buy-in to understand why they have to do this, because now they understand the dynamics and the process, how everything works, so they'll do it. Most likely they'll do it. And that's a lot of times what it is. So gotta understand that. That's just something I have to learn. I know every parent is different, every kid is different. I get it. I completely understand. And you have to go off what you know about your kids and how you parent yourself. I'm not telling you how to parent, I'm telling you how I parent. Take it as you will. But yeah, let me know. I would love to know how you guys deal with that, stuff like that. The name, like, I guess the inappropriate name calling or saying a word that they didn't know that it was wrong. It's like kids, a cuss word when they're a kid. I remember when she said her first, it was my fault. She was around 2 or 3, I think 3. And I said, shit. As I was opening up, because I forgot, I was taking food out for dinner. And I forgot, I just kept on going back and forth, like, shit, forgot something. Excuse me, like this. Oh, I just sit on here. I try to bleep it out. But sugar, hockey, iced tea. Fill that out, first letters. She said the same word. She said, sugar, hockey, iced tea. She said the whole word. I'm like, oh, come on, really? So I tried to switch up. She's like, what you said that? I was like, shiitake or shish kebab. I said, it was nothing. I had to switch it up. And she said, oh. And she hasn't said a cuss word since. Thank gosh. Thank God. I'm trying to break her out of saying that was a real thank God. But I'm trying to get her out of saying she started picking up the word, saying the God in vain, the Lord's name in vain, and everything like that. And I don't even let her watch YouTubers that say like, hey, it just don't feel right. I'm sorry. Don't feel like you don't need to be saying that. Say gosh. And I know sometimes I say it and I catch myself, but it's making me, because of her, do the same thing, like not say it. But I just wanted to touch on that one. Just got done eating, making breakfast for me and her, had eggs and bacon, and drinking my coffee. So let me know, guys. I seriously want to know your what you comment in the comment section. Please let me know, please, because I was just like, what the hell. Anyway, have a good day. And I gotta come up with the catchphrase for parenting. Like, be the best parent you can, or I don't know. That just sound corny. It sounds kind of corny. But let me know. It's a good catchphrase too. Something like another day, parenting. I don't know, something good. Anyway, bye.